I was talking about the need to, in not just in our personal lives and in our social settings, but like in our justice movement, like create spaces where we're not just also acknowledging each other as whole human beings, you know, who exist beyond bigger, wider, more whole than the categories that we live in, but also that like that has to be integrated into our justice movement in terms of like how we do our work, and that justice movement needs to not only be able to see me as a mom, but like create a space where mothers, children, families are like integrated into the work, right? Like that we create that world, we create that space, we create that community. And I think that the thing that I was thinking about most, especially this morning, about undoing borders is that like colonization cut us up. Like that process of being a colonized people, and this includes everybody, right? Like Europeans, colonization was done onto the European populace, like as being, you know, like taking on that role, you know, like, and the process of colonization, like, ended our freedom as people who, like, related to the earth in a way that made us able to move and be whole people and exist in multiple places at once, right? Like, you know, like we moved around, we had relationships, we like related to the earth and to the lands around us and our environments in different ways than when suddenly like we became commodities and we became uh, like a source of labor and product and a consumer. And so all of that, you know, becomes this project of like decolonizing our lives. You know, like being able to be yourself, your whole self, is a project in decolonization, and being able to like acknowledge your access, your right to access space and to be in the world and to not be invisible and to not be shut out is, you know, like one of the strongest things that we can do as human beings, and not just as individuals, but like creating that ethos as a community, right? So like when I think about the BBQ, the monthly Black, Brown, Queer potluck barbecue thing that we started like not quite a year ago, and that is really about building space for queer people of color in a way that's like open and not about like questioning people's identities or questioning people's motives for being there, but just creating a space where like everyone is welcome. You can come. The thing that drives us is wanting to be together and wanting to be whole people. And if you're down with that, then this is a place for you, you know? And being able to create spaces and communities and movements that are based on that is like how I think of undoing borders. Like the whole thing about fabulosity that I was so excited about is like when I think of the ideas that I have for social justice work and movement building, like I get really frustrated when I'm just like, nobody's going to come to this, nobody's going to want to like engage in this because it's so much work and it's so hard. But like then when I think about like fabulosity and, you know, like making it fun and making it like representative of who we are as human beings, and like we make amazing culture when we can be our whole selves. We're creative, we make beautiful things, we look beautiful and we sound beautiful and we're joyful and we draw other people to us. And like all of the communities that I work in that are marginalized, like that's their resistance, that's how they've survived, like that's how my people have gotten through colonization, is by like knowing our intrinsic beauty and worth and being able to like bring our children into that and bring our lovers and our sisters and our parents and our elders into that, and making community and making culture is a completely like justice-based thing, you know. And so like if we're gonna undo borders, like it can't just be about lucha and it can't just be about, you know, armed struggle and fighting and changing laws or taking people down. It has to be about creating, and it has to be about claiming space in a way that acknowledges our whole selves, and it has to be beautiful.